Morning. Hope you're well and have had a good week so far. So, I wanted to share some insights that I've actually noticed. I actually got shown your advert for some surprising reason on Facebook, and I actually we're considering changing our banisters on our new in our new house, and it prompted me to just have a look at the site and see if there's an opportunity for me to find the relevant products I need. And in doing so, as an SEO, I started to look at the site of areas of opportunity for growth. So. I'm sure you're familiar with what SEO is, which is basically the ability to rank organically in Google for various search terms. Now, the key thing to note when I'm just looking at overall performance, so this is the amount of people that are visiting the site organically, so traffic you're essentially not having to pay per click. It actually looks like performance has done pretty well. Since January, you've seen a slight drop off, but nothing too concerning. And then obviously keywords within the first 2 pages have actually improved. Now, this paints a pretty good picture. But when I actually look into the data of where you're getting most of your traffic from earlier in the year, things like stair parts, for example, has 2,500 searches a month. You've dropped from position 1 to 4. And what I think that is like things like this, where Google is essentially moving on, ChatGPT has become a thing. A nice little bit of content just below here, if we look at who is ranking number 1, would help you start to sort of like promote, I guess, your product range more. Now, this is obviously a homepage. It's always going to rank pretty strongly, but you can see here Stairbox also have stair parts, and then they have this sort of like carousel that has a few imagery that Google can see. They have this nice breadcrumb structure. They have another H2 here. So you can see here they actually have a bit more just like weight and relevancy to Google, whereas we just have this one H1 and then nothing else really contained with that. And then we have some reviews and stuff. So first and foremost, there's obviously an area of opportunity to improve SEO from a content perspective and just expand some of those elements. The other part when I start to look into this is the spindles landing page, but it looks like something has happened that's basically meant that these bits don't update. So this is actually a spindles page. There's no breadcrumb here first and foremost, which would help you then rank for more search terms, but this actually isn't stair parts, it's actually spindles. And you can see here, stair spindles, 3,500 searches a month in the UK. Used to get around 200 clicks and you were position 5. You don't rank anywhere, so you've lost that position altogether. And that, I think, is because if you look at all the optimizations on this page, everything related to spindles has essentially disappeared. There's no content here. There's no, like this says spindles rather than stair spindles. There's no FAQs. There's nothing on here for Google to understand this is about spindles. So that is another thing that I would definitely look at. I think one of the other areas of opportunity identified is, so you have these stair part elements under materials, so stair parts here. Now, for me, this obviously you could break this out further. So this could be you've got these. You could break out it to be like pine handrails, prime stair handrails, etc., etc. But if I just go into this, for example, this creates a URL that Google can't essentially put in search first and foremost. But there is volume. Like oak stair parts has 400 searches a month, where again there's no page for Google to basically say, oh, cool, this is about oak stair parts. It again just uses filters. This doesn't update. This isn't a URL. So I think some of the site architecture could be built out much further that will allow you to capture those searches on things like ChatGPT, people searching in TikTok, on Instagram, and in Google. And then obviously that's going to subsequently lead to more sales. And then one of the final things, just because we're on here, is just having a look at this, for example. So you've got these things which are pretty good. This is really useful. Again, for me, I would actually use a lifestyle image first. This really helps conversion rate, having this so people can like understand how it visually will look. I quite like this, the way this is broken up. But again, we should be having some FAQs. This should be similar. And then instead of these just being random things, it should be like similar stair products. So again, this is more intentful. And then you could have some links here to related categories. So for example, if this is pine, you could link out to pine spindles, you could link out to pine banister rails, etc., etc. So again, all looking at how we improve the overall SEO, cross-linking, and then visibility for customers and what they're searching. So hopefully that is useful. I'll drop my website in the comments. But yeah, just wanted to share some insights as I was actually browsing from a customer perspective.